You're listening to a Brain Stew Fresh Fright review.
What's up, creeps, and welcome to another brand new Epic Film Guys Fresh Fright review. I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm BluBrry.
And once again, joining us on this episode is our good friend Kellen from Kellen's Petty Talk Show. Bro, what the fuck is up? It's been a long time.
What's up, everyone? Stoked to be back.
Glad to have you. You were a huge part of us going viral a few weeks back with Scream 7, with randomly sending us a photograph of the brand new Scream 7 billboard, in which I instantly thought, I need to post this shit because I have not seen it, number one. Number two, I bet the fans are going to really enjoy it. And it went more than viral. The Scream page shared it. Kevin Williamson shared it. So thanks again for that,
Don't
dude.
forget, Ice Nine Kills shared it.
Spencer, yes, the vocalist for the band that I love more than anything in the entire world. Yeah.
Anna Camp too. I think Anna Camp too.
Yeah. So that was really awesome. It was really cool. I really appreciate that you I mean, again, I know it was just a gesture of being like, yo, dudes, check this shit out. And I was like, whoa.
I didn't even know it was out there yet. I just was driving by. I was like right on your way into Hollywood there. I just like put my arm out the window, took a shot of it. I didn't know that nobody had seen it yet. It must have went up that morning.
And dude, so ever since you sent that photo and we posted it, like every day, every other content creator and Scream fan and horror fan, you know, everyone and their fucking mother was taking photos of that thing, trying to go viral with it. So, and then like you said, like a week later or less than a week, someone graffitied it. So
yeah, dude,
it already gotten good old Ghostface got tarnished. But ladies and gentlemen, this
they
is
like spray paint like a mustache on the Ghostface mask or something, because that'd be funny.
I'm still trying to see that one mural that they have in Los Feliz where like Ghostface has like a knife and there's like candles around him or something.
That is badass. I did see that.
Yeah.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big one for the Epic Film Guys. Scream 7, definitely for me, one of my most anticipated of the year. We already talked about it on that episode in January. And a huge one for horror fans just in general, whether you're on one side of the boat or the other in terms of if you're a boycotter. I don't know if there are many of you out there considering the box office, because a huge win for the franchise, guys. $97.2 million globally and $64.1 million domestic here. It's the 7th biggest horror opening of all time. It's the biggest opening for horror since The Conjuring Last Rites, and the biggest Scream opening of the entire fucking franchise. And here we had people saying they were going to boycott and that the movie was going to flop, and Neve Campbell is past her prime, and motherfucker, she's still in her prime. Ghostface is still out there. Nothing's gonna stop this thing. So it proves that not only horror is still thriving, which it's continued to thrive over the past few years, but it's winning, guys. It's winning. So I think
it also surpassed Scream 4's entire box office, which is crazy. In one weekend.
You know, that always bummed me out because I was there on opening night for that one, super excited, and I'll never forget, it was a Friday night, and I looked around the theater, and it was almost like the same like experience as seeing Jason X, which is not a good sign. When I look around behind me and I'm like, there's less than 15 people in here. For Jason X, there was like 5 people, but you know what I mean? It's like, I think it came out at the wrong time, marketing issues, all that. But before we go any further, the knives are out on this one, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go full fucking spoiler. And Brady, let the fans out there know what this movie's all about if they don't already know what Scream 7 is.
Well, when a new Ghostface killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has built a new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Sidney must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. With the tagline, burn it all down.
I mean, I love the tagline, but also, is it really her greatest fear? Like, she's been living like this her whole life. It's been 30 years. Pretty sure she's like kind of used to it by now.
Like, fuck, not again.
Another one. That's how she responds, but
the next one she's got to finally respond that way. Like, fuck, really?
Yeah, I mean,
real quick off the top, one question that I have is, and I'll quote Matthew Lillard from the first film on this: Where's her pops, man? Where's her pops?
Oh yeah.
Where's her dad, bro? Like, I'm surprised they haven't like brought that back into the fold somehow. Like,
We haven't even seen him
Ghostface has
since
kidnapped her dad.
part
Second
3.
one.
He's in the
Three.
Is he
box.
in 3?
Yeah.
He's in 3. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
she moves out in the country. He visits her house to see her and says, I think you need to come back home. This isn't healthy for you, what you're doing. There's no mention of him after that, as far as I can remember. And like, she goes to Woodsboro in part 4. So you don't see him in that one. You don't get any mention of him in that one. So is he dead?
What happened
Yeah.
to her
Maybe-
golden retriever from 3?
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think just the lifespan of that probably.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
I mean, I think her dad is probably either in witness protection. Like he's doing it the way Sydney should have always done it. Like nobody can
Right.
find that motherfucker, or he's dead,
Right.
Listen, the
or
way
he's on another
technology is,
hotel conference. You know,
yeah.
what is it when in Scary Movie? Like I always get that one mixed up, but it's like he's going away, but it's like he's doing some sort of like wet T-shirt contest, like conference he's going to.
There's
That's
no
all
way
I
to
like.
hide from Ghostface. I think we've learned at this point, no matter where you go or what you do, and that's part of what I like about what they do with Sydney in this movie. And we'll open it up, but I don't think we need to spend a lot of time in terms of like how we usually go around the room and say how excited we were for it or level of anticipation. Everyone knows that Jeremy's, in his own words, you can say it yourself.
I'm a casual fan of the
There
franchise.
you go. Casual fan of the.
I love the first movie.
No,
And
it's
then
okay.
everything after that, I'm just like, that's cool. I'll check it out. But it's
Yeah.
not something that I'm like dying to see.
Understood. But you keep going to see these whenever they come out, except for this one. And I had to mention this. I do want to thank Paramount Pictures because there was a lot of back and forth in terms of if we were going to get a press screening here to see it early. And we found out they weren't going to do anything here. And then I got a last minute invite to go see it in New York City. And I drove to New York City from Virginia to see the movie. And I got to see it on the biggest IMAX screen on the East Coast, which is pretty cool. But also my wife being who she is, she's like, you can go see the movie, but you have to drive back after the movie. You can't stay and hang out in New York. So it was a really exciting time. And I got to hang out with some cool New York critics like my friend David Gonzalez. Shout out to him in the Cinematic Reel for connecting me up that way. So it was an exciting thing to do, considering that, unlike the last two, Jeremy, where we got to see those ones early and kind of get the word out almost a week before they came out, this one, they were keeping it under wraps, most definitely. And even you, Kellen, you're out there in LA and you didn't even know where they were doing it either, right?
Yeah, I speculated that it was the Fox Theater because my roommate said that he saw somebody taking Ghostface statues inside. But I was kind of figuring it would be Paramount or Chinese. Those were the two I was thinking.
And props to everyone that got to attend. I'm sure it was a wonderful, wonderful time. But
Of course.
yeah, so, I mean, this is the 7th movie in a franchise. I think there's some level of expectation from some fans, and there's other, like yourself, Jeremy, casual fans that are just wanting to go and have a good time. So, I mean, we can just go around the room right now and get initial thoughts. And Kellen, you are our guest, and you did hook us up with that awesome photo. So, dude, after you left the theater, and were you sending us a text, but I won't spoil it. What did you think?
Dude, I had a fucking blast. I've seen it twice already. Probably going to go a third time tonight. Like, for me, it's the 4th best in the franchise. I'm going to rank it right behind the first trilogy. I would probably go 1, 2, 3, 7, 4, 5, 6. That's my ranking.
Damn.
Yeah, not a big fan of 6. Sorry. But I don't know, dude. It had the immaculate fall vibes. Like, all the locations. They shot in Georgia, right? The locations were great.
Yes.
The cast is incredible. Like, you know, the reveal is hit or miss for whoever you ask, but I think it was fine. And, you know, Nev Campbell's back, and she just kicked ass as the lead again. So, I don't know. I had such a good time. We got Marco back with the score.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
man.
yeah.
All the vibes are immaculate. And, yeah, Ghostface is, like, at his most brutal, really, too. I mean, there's some crazy good kills in here.
Absolutely.
And I also just thought it was really well paced. And for Kevin to be a second-time director and just crush it this hard, it's incredible to see.
You got to give him a lot of props, man. I think he was up against a really hard spot with this one, considering what happened with Christopher Landon leaving the project and them having to do a complete rehaul, a new script, cast leaving, cast being fired, what have you. He was the man for the job, but think about what he had to do with a short amount of time. And like, they had a release date already set for this thing. And I mean, he's the guy, man. But you said it perfectly. one-time director, and he had to take on the mantle. I mean, he created this whole thing, so who else to do it but him? But he also had to live up to Wes's legacy and also the fans that love the Radio Silence movies.
And
Absolutely.
I think he did. I think this feels way more like a Wes Craven movie than the last two did.
I agree with that, actually. Be ready. What were your initial thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, you all know that I really loathed 6. Like, I think that one like deserved to just burn in a dumpster fire. So going into this one, I guess really wasn't a super high bar that I needed it to meet. I just needed it to not be 6. But I was excited. But I gotta say, initial thoughts, man, like, yeah, I think that it was really, really fucking great to get Nev back. And I think that she, like you said, Justin, proved that she is still a powerhouse. It's what we've been saying all along, that like you can't really separate the character of Sydney from this franchise and expect it to really go anywhere. But then on the flip side of that, some initial thoughts I had were, I guess I was expecting more character development from Kevin Williamson, like that he's known for. And there were lots of dialogue in there, especially between Sydney and her daughter Tatum, that I was like, well, this really isn't the Kevin Williamson that we all know and love. Like, this isn't really giving anything for me to attach to Tatum as a character other than, well, she's just the stand-in for the daughter and a potential victim. And then I gotta be honest, there were many times in this movie that felt more like a Halloween film than an actual Scream film. There were a lot of homages, a lot of shots, even just the way that the town felt more like a Halloween movie than Scream in many times. And, I love Halloween, but I think in each setting that we've gotten with the Scream movie, even with New York, it felt like the setting was its own thing. Like, Woodsboro is iconic, right? The first 3 movies, or the first 2 movies and then 4, you could see Woodsboro, and even in the 4th one, it just changed a little bit. This one, I feel like maybe the setting wasn't exactly what I was hoping it would be, and didn't really fully land. It felt very small scale, but overall, it's a Scream movie. We got Ghostface being brutal as fuck. We've got Marco Beltrami back. We've got some AI stuff that we'll get into that, hits or doesn't. But overall, it was great to see Scream back in the theaters.
I think that the studio gave Nev the opportunity to pick the director. I don't know if you guys know this, but she literally called up Kevin Williamson on a Zoom call and just offered it to him on the spot. And that's so fucking cool.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Nev. Yeah, thank you, Nev, for that. And Jeremy, you already told me your initial thoughts. Actually, this is the first time ever I have to mention that you sent me like a long list of your notes, like after seeing the movie, and I was like, wow, you never do that.
What's funny is I typically never take notes during a movie. I'm pretty good about remembering most of the things that I'd like to take away from a film. I'm horrible with typically remembering character names and shit like that. But outside of that, like, usually, when I watch a film, I'm able to retain the stuff that I liked or I didn't like from it. But this one, I knew how important this one was. And so I just really wanted to take as detailed notes as possible while watching it. And this movie, man, I go into these movies with very little expectation other than I want to be entertained. Like, and this one was so much fun, dude. I went to the movie by myself, sat in the theater by myself, and literally had a blast with this movie. I had to piss so bad during the last 5 minutes of this movie, so like I was like tapping my foot relentlessly because I'm like, dude, it's very possible I might piss my pants.
Dude, were you pulling the squeeze?
Were you really burning it all down?
I was definitely. I know I should have brought his fucking Dick Tracy cup or his fucking
my Poison Ivy
and Robin cup. But, so like the last 5 minutes, I knew I was like, dude, I can't leave to go pee right now. Right now, I'm gonna miss something. So, outside of those things, man, I had an absolute blast with this movie. I'm gonna say something that's going to be blasphemous to Brady. I still think I preferred 6 over this one, and blasphemous also to Kellen, because I did appreciate that in 6 they've had it in a new setting and they finally moved the story away from Sydney. Because I'm going to be honest, as far as my first reaction to this is, yes, Nev Campbell was great in it. Yes, they did some cool Sydney stuff with it, but at the same time, they didn't do anything new with the Sydney character outside of her having a daughter that she's kind of walking through how to take these Ghostface killers on. I didn't feel like they did anything particularly spectacular with Sydney that made me go, oh man, she fucking saved this movie. Now, obviously, hardcore Scream fans like you guys, it's like Jamie Lee for me in Halloween. Like, you want the OG back, and I totally understand and respect that. But for me, and I'm gonna use the phrase that Justin loves me saying, as a casual fan, I'm like, I feel like the Sydney storyline has run its course.
I can't
so that's why I
entirely.
prefer. You said you don't, or you do?
I said I can't entirely disagree with you.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I disagree entirely, and I was like, maybe I heard him wrong. But yeah, man, like that's why I kind of preferred 6 a little bit more, is because they at least were like, we're going away from that to do something different in a new setting as well, which I thought was cool. So even though we go backwards and now we're back with the Sydney character, which again, they didn't really present anything spectacularly new with. They didn't do anything spectacularly innovative with. It was still so much fun. And this is like an onion or an orange or whatever the fuck. There's layers to this. So initially, I understand.
The oranges have layers?
I mean, there's the outer skin that you got to peel and shit, bro.
All right, Shrek.
I pack my kids' lunches, bro. I got to peel them oranges, bro. So
it gets under your nails.
Yeah, dude, your hands, your hands fucking smell like it all day. No matter how many times you wash them. But no, so like with this, the ending at first, I was like, man, the ending was kind of lackluster, which I know we'll get to later, and I'm not going to go into it. But the more that I sit with it, the more I'm like, you know what? I get it, and I kind of like that they didn't necessarily try, even though they incorporated Stu into the storyline, they didn't really, as far as the reveal goes, it wasn't like, oh, it's the brother of this person, or it's the cousin of this person, or it's this or it's that. And Scream has really trained us that the killers typically always go back to the original for the most part. And, for this one to not do that, I think that's why fans are like, I'm kind of disappointed in that, because they've trained us that that's what this is going to be. And the more that I've sat with it, the more I'm like, you know what? I kind of think I dig what they did with this. I'm going to go see it again, which I've never gone to see a Scream movie twice in the theaters.
Holy shit.
At least there's that. I had an absolute blast with this movie. Dude, in my opinion, man, maybe my favorite kills in the entire franchise happened in this movie.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I'll say that when we get to that part for sure. I think that
yeah.
At least one of them shot right to my top 5 of all time. We did an episode a couple years ago with top kills of the Scream franchise, and I was like, whoop, that would change now. I think that what I walked away from when I left the theater was, I've liked all of these movies. I love bits and pieces of them to varying degrees. It's just what I love. I love Scream. And the issue with the last few, as much as I enjoyed them, it didn't have those they didn't have those moments where, like in part 2, I'm like, I can't wait for the Gale and Dewey chase in the college, or in the first one where I'm like, I can't wait for when Randy almost gets killed, or there's like certain fan moments like where you feel like you're a kid again and you're getting goosebumps and you're anticipating them. And this movie had like 3 of those moments, like instantly, like ingrained in my brain. In the opening, McKenna Grace's character in the theater, legitimately iconic visuals in that shit. And then of course the chase scene at the end, which who better than Kevin Williamson, who wrote the best chase sequence in Scream, to direct a great chase sequence. I've been missing these chase sequences in these movies, and I think it's integral to what Scream is, and we got a great one at the end of the movie here. And I've come to this realization too, Jeremy, because when I watched it the first time in New York, and believe me, the post leaving the theater discussion with the other critics there, I was like the odd man out, man. I was like standing there, I'm like, I'm not even going to try to defend this, because I'll be honest, mostly people were shitting on it. But I came to the conclusion that it's way less about the reveal for me and way more about the journey to get to that reveal and what happens leading up to it and the aftermath of the reveal. That's way more interesting, because I kind of realize it now. I'm never going to be shocked by who takes off that mask. I'm never going to get this wow moment and jump out of my seat. Like I made this argument the other day. And
unless it's Gale.
Well,
because at this point, that's all who's left.
Even that, but what I said is this, just as an example, guys, I know I'm going deep with this. Imagine had they not announced Jamie Kennedy and he was the killer, Randy, the one that makes the most sense thematically, the geek that couldn't get the girl. He never died, right? Don't announce him, no nothing. Imagine that reveal. If fans would be like, holy fuck, no one thought about Randy because everyone thought he was dead. Again, he's not like a Stu Macher in terms of the level of fans that love him. He's a fan favorite. He's my favorite, but you know what I mean? They're never going to go that far. They're never going to go that deep or outside of the bounds of what they typically would want to do with a killer reveal. That's just an example. So I'm kind of like, when I saw who it was that took off the mask, or masks plural, and also hearing about some test screenings, which they had multiple different versions of who was killing, I was satisfied with what we got. I think that also Anna Camp and her character thematically make total sense because it's always been about, previous to this, what Sydney has done or what her mom has done or what she's caused. And in this case, this isn't about the stab movies. This is not someone that loves the stab movies. It's literally her next door neighbor who is living through her trauma. She's like the other side of what Sydney's trying to move on with her life. That's the key goal here. She kind of like just scoffs at this shit. Like when Ghostface first calls her and she's in the office of her coffee shop, she literally answers the phone like, yep, all right, cool. Yep, another one of you. And you'd have to act that way at this point because how many years have you been going through this? 30 years of people calling you and asking, do you want to die tonight? You know, like she's past this shit. She's just trying to protect and have a family life. Go ahead.
I'd like Scream to get to a point where, if we're going to keep going with movies, that we don't get so hung up on motive. And like, sure, the first three, it's great because those all make sense in terms of it tying back to Sydney's mom and her being killed off, and Sydney then, unleashing Debbie Salt. But it would be really nice if we could get to a spot where, like they say in the first one, it's the millennium. Like, motive doesn't matter. And like, that's really what this one is perfectly poised to do, is make that statement going forward. Like, sure, like you have the best of both worlds with Sydney still being front and center, and obviously going to be involved with this, but it doesn't always have to be, her second cousin twice removed that
exactly
didn't like that, she stole her doll when she was a kid and her mom, never let her come back over anymore. Like, I think one of the biggest disappointments of 6 for me was like that stupid ass reveal at the end where it's just like tying back to like a kill from the 5th one, right? And then it's like a whole family. You don't need to get that involved with this. You can make it just like they did with this one, where it's like, hey, this actually makes some sense. Like, make it make sense. What I will say, which it might be blasphemous to the rest of you, is I was actually kind of disappointed with the opening. Like,
oh man, that's
compared to the other ones. Like, you think of these, Scream for me, where it's like, motive is one, Jeremy, like you said, that everybody is like, oh, that's a Scream movie, like who's going to be unmasked? But for me, it's also the opening. Like,
I love the opening,
all about it. And this one, it just didn't do it for me.
Number one, fans are at the Mocker house. This is a thing that, Jeremy, you've been to the house as a casual fan. Your ass has been in that house. I'm sitting there dreaming, wanting to be there. But I love that they brought in that aspect of like, it's fans going to an Airbnb. Now, technically, it doesn't really necessarily connect to anything else at all, except for spreading the word that something happened in Woodsboro. And that's what also moves the plot along to get Gale to show up in Pine Grove. But as a spectacle, I thought it was just extremely well done. Scream almost never gets me a good jump scare. I got a jump scare out of that moment. And also, if we're talking kills, which we'll get to all of them, but Brady, dude, he stabs this poor girl who doesn't even want to be there. And as she's like literally dying and sucking on her own blood and choking, he pours gasoline over her and lights her on fire as she's fucking alive, then walks out like a boss. I was like, dude, if that's not the most Ghostface thing I've ever seen, with Marco Beltrami's score like thumping in the background, it just felt beyond epic to me.
Yeah, I mean, I get why people like it, and it's interesting kill. It just, didn't. To me, it doesn't feel like a Scream kill, and probably because we haven't seen it before. But another
I've
thing
seen a lot of people saying that, but I mean, what makes a Scream kill? Like, my point of view on that is that we don't. I mean, come on, let's branch out a little bit. He's done other kills before that weren't just like stabbing you. So
yeah, but he also. There's a difference between a kill that is not being stabbed with a knife and having gasoline dumped on you and set on fire. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like that. Where's the line between Scream and Friday the 13th or Scream and Halloween? Like, you know, we talk about.
Well, Michael Myers would never pour gasoline on anyone, right? I've never seen.
You could say that about Ghostface until this movie, until they do it in a Halloween movie.
I'm just saying you're mentioning a reference point to compare, but there isn't the comparison there.
And also, I mean, just to jump in on that,
sure.
Every Michael Myers is the killer in every Halloween movie, so he's got a style of kills that he typically does, and him doing something new or different, like that's fine too. But like, there's different killers.
We've seen that. Yeah,
there's different killers in every single one of these movies. So I don't think there's one specific way that a Ghostface has to kill or how deep or how far they're willing to go with it, because it's different killers every film.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I just, for me at least, like it was a good way to bring the house back in. It was in Woodsboro, so a fan can't be like, God damn it, we didn't even get one scene in Woodsboro. So it had like at least that element and that visual, and I liked the hardcore fan aspect of it, and it brought in a lot of that, meta dialogue of the character, him knowing all the killers and all that shit. And then, of course, being brutally murdered just for being a fan. I mean, they're the most innocent people that get killed in this movie, I feel like.
Do you guys think that, and maybe, Kellen, let me ask you, because I feel like I've been cutting you off like left and right, but do you think that the movie's better or worse for not really going like the meta route like every other movie did?
I mean, I think it's fine just how they did it, honestly. The AI thing seemed to kind of make sense for this one, timing-wise. But
I got really upset for some reason when it like shows fucking Debbie Salt, because I was like, how do they know what she'd look like when she's older? She never got to be that age. How would they know? But then I was like, all right, it's fucking AI.
It's AI guessing anyway.
I mean, look what they just.
I kind of like that she came back. I love Lori.
It was fine, but I was just like, I got so irrationally mad at the theater. I was like, how did they know Roman would look that skinny? How did they know he wouldn't just be like 500 pounds?
What I want to know is how the hell did they manage to swap out that motion activated ghost face and just stand in the same spot without them knowing it in the beginning?
Well, you saw that ChatGPT news today where like they tried to shut it down, and they were like, what would it do? And it was like, it'll try to blackmail people and even think about killing people to make sure it doesn't get shut down. I was like, oh my God. So I guess it can do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, it all depends on the prompt, right? You could take a photo of someone and say, hey, make them look 30 years older and add scars to their face. And AI is fucking crazy right now, bro. They could take a picture of Debbie Salt and be like, hey, I need a video of this person saying this, and I need, maybe there's references with interviews and stuff that they did before dying or whatever that they get the voice to. It's plausible.
That was the only thing that I mentioned. We might as well talk about the AI thing right now, because it was, a plot device in order to get Matthew Lillard back in the movie as Stumacher, as a version of Stumacher. I think it was for fans that have been wanting and been begging to see him come back, like a good middle ground to do that. It also it plays with the idea of what AI can do. There's no real strong statement that they make in terms of the movie's feelings on AI as a tool. I know the movie itself did not use AI to be made, but just it's an excuse to bring them back. It is fan service at its worst, but also at the same time, I found it really entertaining, actually. The voice thing, though, was the only thing, because sure, you could maybe get Roman's voice from something, because maybe he did interviews for the movies that he was making or whatever, but Stumacher died as a teenager. Like, where the fuck would his voice be found? Anyways, it doesn't really matter, because it's a movie and it's movie magic.
Hey, guess what? Maybe he was in a school play and someone filmed the school play
that's
and they uploaded it to YouTube.
Stretching it, but
he was in an MTV special. Who knew?
He was at Spring Break after he got a tattoo. Yeah, I mean,
when Limp Bizkit performed. Yeah,
she's all that.
Yeah,
was his
Brady got the reference.
Return to just promote his return just to get asses in seats, though? Was that why they announced
100%?
Yeah,
dude. I mean, let's be clear here. Absolutely, Kellen. I mean, I think that was what a lot of the haters were saying. Like, oh, you're just going to announce every single previous Ghostface killer just to market your movie and get the fans back, because their other side of things was, well, no one wants to watch this now because Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, Radio Silence. Well, Radio Silence already left. They did still produce the movie, whatever. And they actually had a big part of the use of AI in the movie. That was their idea, actually, now that I come to think of it. But I guess it's not that big of a deal. They know how big of a deal Matthew is at these conventions. We've all seen the lines. They're around the fucking block and out the building, and he's just such a fan favorite. And I think they had to figure out a way to get him in. And unlike what Jeremy's thought all these years, I didn't think it was plausible or a good idea to actually bring him back from the dead, though the movie plays with that idea a lot and kind of picks it apart and makes fun of it a little bit, which I enjoyed.
Well, it made 50 million more than Scream 6 in the opening weekend, so that's probably why they announced it so early.
But I mean, dude, Scream 5 and Scream 6 introduced the idea that Stu Macher could be alive, and that there were theories that he was still alive. So, it was one of those things. They're the ones that kind of fueled the fan flames of like, hey, Matthew Lillard could come back to be the killer. And like, let's be real. These are horror movies, and if you want to bring a character back, there's always a way to bring back.
Well, wasn't there an original concept for 4 or 5 where Williamson wanted it to be like Stu was in prison, had actually survived?
Yeah. There was
3.
Yeah, he was going to come back, and
he was going to be the killer in 3 until Columbine happened.
Yep.
I was going to mention that I loved Brady. I know you didn't like the opening very much, but did you hear what was on the podcast they were listening to as they were driving up to the house? They were talking about how Stu Macher was spotted at a college party, still alive. It's like, they got the fucking cameo reference in there, so I loved that. But to your point, Jeremy, it is realistic for this franchise anyway. After the last one, you had Chad, as in Mason Gooding, getting stabbed like literally like a gazillion fucking times. And in this movie,
then he gets stabbed again.
He gets stabbed once, though. But I'm like, he's still walking around like nothing happened. So, I mean, whatever. They could technically do anything. But I loved that in that opening, when she's like, Stu Macher got a TV thrown on his head, and they zoom in real slow on it with the fake blood under the TV. And they're really pushing it hard. But I loved all that. Even the line when Gail says to Sydney, like, do you really think it's Stu Macher? And she's like, well, that would certainly make the better story. But like, they're poking fun at the idea of even using him at all whatsoever. So there's a lot of in-jokes in the movie. Also, kind of talking about New York. I'm not sure if it was making fun of New York, but she's like, oh, it's a good thing you set out in New York City. That was brutal.
Yeah. That was good.
Dude, meaning that it was brutal to have a Scream movie without Sidney Prescott, which I put in my notes, and I was I see what you're doing there.
There was definitely some shade thrown.
A little bit, but like I said, Radio Silence still, I mean, they still produce this thing. So, I mean, like, it wasn't totally out of their hands, but the franchise has always kind of picked itself apart and kind of poked fun at itself. So I don't see any issue with it at all.
I will say, like, talking about characters and stuff too, before, I know we're kind of all over the place with this one, which is fine because we all love it. But, before we get into like the newer characters or, just fodder, I was kind of disappointed with the treatment Chad and Mindy got. Like, I was, I guess, expecting a little more. And I also hate this trope of like, you guys have lived through 2 other movies where you have, kind of done the same behaviors that get you in trouble. And in this one, you do the same fucking thing. They write you to be like, oh, there's noise coming from that back room. Let's go in there and check it out. Like, you guys know better than that. Like, Scream, even if you're not a meta movie, it's a smart movie. Like, these characters know they're not supposed to do that. And so, like, that felt like, all right, it kind of felt like what they did with Nev and Courtney in 5, where they just brought him back just to service the people and then be like, okay, we showed him. Let's get out of here.
I guess so. I mean, Chad does make a remark like, oh, no, this isn't good. Like, he's trying not to go back there, but what are they going to do? Not help them, I guess, at that point?
I'd be running out that fucking door. I'd be like, I don't know you kids.
I'm calling it now. They are the first victims to go in 8.
Probably. But I just love Mindy so much.
Gail. Or Gail, dude.
Gail.
Listen, if Gail doesn't get it in the next one, I'm going to riot. Number one. Scream 8's already been greenlit, but But I think she should be. I know Ryan C. Showers is going to be like, no, never kill my Gale. But seriously, it's time for her to go. I did like her in the movie. I thought there were some really extremely strong emotional moments with her and Sydney. We finally got that interview, which we've never seen. And like, I really loved that kind of connection to You've Never Given Me That Interview. I love the moment after the interview where Gale's digging deep and they bring up Dewey and you see her taking her medication, and like they're just super emotional moments we've wanted to see from these characters. And also, she has one of the best entrances of a character in the history of this franchise. With
I agree with that.
With a moment that Scream has never done before. We've talked about this numerous times, and I finally got my wish in some way, shape, or form. Both of you guys know, Kellen, I'll let you know now. I've always said they've never just given us a random fucking dude no one knows is Ghostface. And we got that in this movie. Some random dude that was mentally unstable that left an asylum was somehow convinced by these other Ghostface killers to like go and attack Sydney's family. Granted, he's been in that asylum for very long and he seemed to move pretty swiftly and like he'd been working out really fucking good. So the way he floats down from the attic, I loved that. I mean, that was a great scene too, where he just gets his ass squashed by Gale Weathers. I did not expect that to happen at all.
Now I will say the other kids, which I guess wasn't too much of an issue for me, but like Tatum's friend group, you really don't get a sense of who is which character. Like they're all just kind of there and then dispatched pretty quickly. Like you have the two who are killed, one off screen at the play, the one hanging from the star, which was a good kill. I liked that one. But then everybody else pretty much gets killed in one scene, like at the bar. I mean, it was fine, but I guess I don't know. I didn't feel any. There was nothing like being like, oh man, I'm scared for their safety. Like they're gonna die. That's what they're there for.
I mean, there's still the red herring in terms of like Tatum's boyfriend and like her seeing that he had the AI on his computer. Like, could he possibly be involved? I mean,
Or Ben, I was saying, the kid who's like super obsessed.
Yeah, for example, Brady, I was going to mention this. The character of Lucas, dude, he was actually in one of the versions of the ending where he was one of the killers. But they cut it. It didn't test well. So he wasn't necessarily going to be around or get killed in that scene either. But I got to say, I just screened the uncut version of My Bloody Valentine last week, the same week I saw this movie. And instantly I'm like, oh my God, they homaged My Bloody Valentine with that kill at the bar. And I fucking loved it. That's the most un-Ghostface kill ever, Brady, but it's definitely in my top 5 now. That shit rules.
So good.
Oh yeah. As soon as the beer starts coming out, I was like, yep.
So
dude,
awesome.
It was so gory. And when that scene hit and the beer tap went back and blood and beer started coming out of his mouth, I literally went, holy fuck. I out loud, audibly, I'm by myself in the theater, and that scream or that kill blew me the fuck away, man.
Sylvia,
I loved that so
much.
You
just needed someone to come in there and be like, oh shit.
Also, I do love when Ghostface is dragging them across the glass. Like that's like very Ghostface to me. Like just like dragging it out, being like, all right, there's all this shattered glass, and I'm gonna pull you across it.
Yeah, I mean, even if I get what you're saying about the characters, Brady. I also think the centerpiece of this movie is Sydney and her daughter and her family unit, and the friends they definitely are cannon fodder from the beginning. Like
they're secondary.
They're definitely secondary, which made sense to me because I wanted to mention that I really enjoyed Isabel May as Tatum. I really enjoyed her. I liked the chemistry that Isabel has with Nev. Clearly they worked on that together, and it felt like a real family unit.
Terrific.
Unfortunately, poor Joel McHale, had he been Patrick Dempsey, I'm sure he would have had a larger role. But they couldn't get him to come back. So he was, I think, serviceable enough for the movie. But
it's wild that he did Thanksgiving, but wouldn't come back for Scream. That's such a huge property.
I think it was like a scheduling conflict
money.
And probably
and
also money.
He said it was scheduling, and the fires in Malibu near his house kept him from.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
So I was wrong. It wasn't money.
Which fire are we talking about, Melissa?
So let's talk about Isabel May for a second. She was fantastic. She's an amazing actress. She was in the Yellowstone prequel series.
Right.
She also is in one of the, I would say, most controversial films ever made that has yet to receive a proper release because of how controversial it is, Run, Hide, Fight. She's the star of that movie.
I didn't even realize that.
Dude, yeah, and that movie is literally, they were like, what if we took a school shooting like Columbine, but made it Die Hard? That's literally what that movie is. I've seen it. It's actually, it's fucked up to say, but it's like that movie was really well made, and it was really fun to watch despite the maybe faux pas topic material. But like, dude, nobody will release that film because again, they kind of glorify a school shooting scenario, and one of the producers on that movie was accused of like raping women. So that movie will probably never get the, you know, a true release.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, probably fine. I think that she does a really good job on her own little island, and I think that she and Nev do fine together. But I think again, it goes back to the writing. I wish that we had a little more of Williamson's iconic writing to just give a little more drama. Like, I saw this really great, I think it must have been Zach Cherry who did a review on it, but he was saying something that really hit me too. It's like, you know, think of it in terms of like the two different type of women that Laurie Strode turns into between H2O and 2018. Like in H2O, she's a helicopter mom. She's like never letting him out of her sight. But in 2018, she's the opposite of that, where she's like, you know, this backwoods, like militia trained person who's trained her kids. And it's like, you know, where it feels like they were trying to kind of go in a similar way with Nev, but kind of like thread the needle, like right in the middle. So she doesn't really have guns, but they do in the house because he's a cop, and she's not a helicopter parent. She's really just has a normal relationship where she's like, hey, I want to look out for you and I don't want to talk about my past. But that also doesn't grab you enough. That it feels like Nev is so built on her trauma and overcoming it again and again and again, especially like, you know, at the end of 3. But then in this one, she's like, I just don't want to talk about my past. Okay, well, you know, if Tatum's really that upset, just go watch a fucking interview. Like, go do something. Like, it didn't feel like there was enough conflict between them for me to like be like, oh yeah, like I get this.
Well, I think for me at least, I felt that it was more a sense of she really just wants to pretend and let that past go and keep moving forward. She mentions like lines about moving forward. I don't want to go back, she said to Gail. I don't want to go investigate this. I just want to be with my family. But she realizes halfway through the movie, I can't do that. I am Sidney Prescott. So it is a moment of realization for her when she decides, I have to go after this guy. Gail's like, he's just going to keep coming for you. There's not just one ghost face. Like, this is, you have to face it again. And I liked that little bit of that moment of realization. Obviously, the opening of this movie is, I just want to live my fucking life. And I'd understand that perspective. And also her not wanting to talk about it because she thinks by doing that, it's protecting her daughter. But she realizes by the end of the movie that you know, that character arc, they're like, no, I need to be open with my daughter. I need to let her know who I am in my past, no matter what the conflict will be, and no matter what the end result will be. Like, she has to do that. And I think it's just some good character stuff there. Obviously, if the movie was longer, Scream movies aren't super long, you know, in-depth dramas or anything like that. They're slasher soap operas for all intents and purposes. But
Yep.
I get what you're saying, but I thought what we did get in the movie, trying to juggle so many characters at the same time, as much as all her friend characters were mostly cannon fodder, did a pretty solid job, I thought.
I really loved Gail coming onto the scene by running Carl over, the tertiary killer.
Yeah, it was a great moment, dude. I thought super exciting. I mean, both screenings I was at, the crowd gasped, jumped out of their seats like, yes, cool.
What an entrance.
That's one thing about this movie that I really enjoyed, and it's why I'm going to go back and see it again, is this film, although, you know, there are tropes that a Scream movie has to have, you know, there were things that this movie did that were huge swings that they have never done in this franchise, period. And a ghost face getting killed off that early in that way, I didn't see it coming. You know, I thought, okay, well, this ghost face is going to get away, and then they're going to be like, oh, fuck, we got another ghost face on our hands. But the fact that they immediately killed off one of the ghost face killers in the very beginning of this movie, I was like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming. You know, there were a lot of things in this movie that I was like, wow, I did not see them doing this or going this far with this or introducing this that really worked for me. And that was definitely an example of something that really shocked and surprised me. And if you can shock and surprise me when you're on a number 7 in a franchise, then I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and getting to the finale itself, like I said earlier, I really enjoyed the Tatum chase sequence throughout Pine Grove, the downtown. Obviously, Sydney decides to not drive back, but to run back somehow. I guess the car was locked and she didn't want to wait for Gale. That's just an excuse for her to have to run and then be on the phone and say to Tatum, I'm not going to make it in time. So, but I liked that moment of her on the phone coaching Tatum, like where to shoot the gun, and she shoots the ghost face, and there's that little back and forth fight in the coffee shop, which I really enjoyed. Then of course we have the third act climax, the ghost face reveal, which, like I said, when I first saw it for the first time, and I mentioned this earlier briefly, but not really fully describing how it happened, but the boycotters were out for everybody. They didn't care who they ruined the movie for. So I did see a few of these actors' names in comment sections of posts we made about the movie. Like if I posted the movie's poster, or even Kellen, when I posted the billboard sign or whatever, there were people that were just commenting because the script leaked a few months ago. And they were just like, I'm going to ruin this movie no matter who it's for, no matter what their political views are. We don't give a shit. And so I saw a few of those names briefly. I just tried to forget them. But when they popped up, and by the time I got there, I knew Ethan Embry was involved, just because I'm like, he's the creepy.
Yeah, well, it's like Law and Order. Like if you watch episodes of that, like anytime they have a bigger name attached to something, you're like, oh, okay, you're definitely involved in this.
He's involved.
I think still the most shocking part of that reveal wasn't that it was Ethan Embry. It's still seeing that fucking 5 head he's got. Like they did that my boy dirty in that movie, man, with that fucking hairline.
Dude, he doesn't look that bad normally. He has his hair grown and he's got this cool stash. They made him look rough, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I love him.
Faye loves Ethan Embry, and so when she popped up, she was like, who is that? He looks so familiar. I said, that's Ethan Embry. And she was like, no, it's fucking not. I was like, yeah,
Brady,
it is, dude.
Danielle said the same thing. She was like, no way, dude. That's not him. I go, dude, some men age poorly.
His hairline couldn't hardly wait.
Badoom.
A little twerp from Dutch.
Yeah. While we're on I guess kind of that topic, not Ethan Embry's fucking his hairline, but one thing that this movie did that also is unlike other Scream movies, which at first also added to me not necessarily loving the ending, but again, I've come around on that, is typically in a Scream movie, the killers are like intricately involved throughout the entirety of the film. So, you know, when the mask comes off, it's like, oh fuck, they were involved the whole time, right? This movie did not do that. Anna Camp literally had like 2 scenes prior to the...
Straight up, though, she has more screen time than Mrs. Loomis in part 2.
But I mean, that one kind of made sense that they would hold her back a little bit because Mickey was the one that was intricately involved. For that one, I get. And then Ethan Embry literally had 1 scene prior to the reveal. So initially, I was like, man, I don't think that was earned. Like, I don't think that reveal was earned because they didn't utilize those characters for a, like, you know, let's be realistic. This Scooby-Doo reveal that the Scream franchise is revered for. But again, I upon reflecting on the movie, I do like that a lot, that they did something different with the reveal as well. That it's not somebody that was in the friend group. It's not somebody that was intricately woven throughout the entirety of the script. It's just these people.
It's just her fucking neighbor, bro.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I dig it now.
Ghostface lives next door, man, and you never knew it.
Yep.
It's kind of funny too. Like I heard some laughs. I mean, maybe unintentional or intentional when she took the mask off. But I will say, Anna Camp going super campy, super cheeseball. She was funny too. She's really funny when she tells Ethan Embry to shut the fuck up. She's like, I'm losing my train of thought. Shut the fuck. I just laughed really hard at that. And them like bickering back and forth. It was like, reminded me of the first movie a little bit, where it's like less scary but more funny. And then of course, also, I don't know, Brady, how you feel about this, but of course, Mark lives. He somehow lived being stabbed like 100 times.
Like fucking Chad in the last movie, yeah. And
he's just laying there
for like 12 hours.
That's what Danielle said. She's like, dude, he's been laying there bleeding for that many hours. How's he still alive? But I guess whatever. It's Scream, so
Yeah.
He helps Tatum get out of the chair, and I love that moment of Ethan Embry, I keep forgetting his name, Marco. Doesn't seem like he doesn't look like a Marco to me, but anyway, gets a headshot, and then we get this awesome scene in the garage. I thought it was really well done. It reminded me of Part 3, where Sydney and Anna Camp, just the character Jessica, are going at it face to face, hand to hand combat, badass brutal fight. We haven't seen one of those in a long time like that, with just Sydney going at it with someone.
Yeah, that was good. Also, Sydney definitely has a type for police officers named Mark, huh? Like,
yeah,
hey,
I mean,
my rebuttal to that is I dated 3 Ashleys in a row, bro.
yeah.
So
Were they all spelled the same?
Feasible.
Or was it like Ashley, Ashley?
Dude, so actually, that's really funny that you mentioned that. So 2 of them were spelled the same. One of them spelled their name really fucking dumb, and I'm not gonna like spell it out or whatever. But yeah, 2 of them spelled it the same. One of them spelled it real dumb.
But anyways, that aside, I do like the final scene, and I love the both of them just like shooting the fuck out of her face when she pops back up, like unloading both clips into her face so much that it's like basically like melted off. Like that was pretty good.
Yeah, Kellen, what was your favorite kill in the movie, dude?
Favorite?
Probably
honestly, like the beer thing was fucking great, but yeah, probably that one. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else was great.
I loved the Hannah kill, and when she's up on the wires and stuff, and she's swinging back and forth up and down, and Ghostface is like slashing at her, then all of her fucking intestines hang out and shit.
Yeah, that was good.
That one's good.
Some of those kind of kills irk me a little bit though, because like I don't know if you would still be screaming after the first couple cuts. Like I feel like you just be like, you know what I mean? Like she's still
adrenaline, man. You get adrenaline when you're getting. I mean, there's people that get shot and they're like, I didn't know it was shot for 10 minutes.
True.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's true. True.
What's his face? Jimmy Tatro, the easy knife through the head. That was kind of cool with his like eyeball going crazy.
That was cool.
I did like
Dude.
That was good. Yeah.
That was gross.
I mean, they're all good. Almost all the kills.
That was another kill. Yeah, that was another kill. I mean, the fact that was like the first kill, and it was and here's the thing, it wasn't like the knife went in quickly and then it was over quick. He slowly put the knife in, and you see the eye go all wonky. Like I wasn't expecting that brutality from it. And that was another kill that I was like, holy shit. So definitely 2 movies I audibly screamed. No pun intended, because they blew me away, man. And it was the beer tap kill and then the knife to the head kill. Both of those were like, man, it's right up there for probably some of my favorite kills in the franchise.
And if we're going to talk about just people dying in general, one of the most epic deaths of all time with Tatum and Sydney just blowing Jessica away. Like they fucking shoot her face off. Like she gets shot like 100 times against that tarp and then just drops. Her face is gone.
Yeah.
With it. I loved it.
Very cathartic moment with her and her daughter. And of course that line, which feels so much like Scream as cheeseball it was, Sydney fucking Prescott's daughter. I loved it.
Which I was waiting for her to be like, actually, you were adopted. And then it's like screaming.
That she pulls the gun on. I was always Ghostface the whole time, bitch. Kills Sydney Prescott. Imagine the fan response to that. But guys, we've kind of
I was waiting for them to pull the Ghostface mask off and it'd be Melissa Barrera.
No way.
No.
Well, she was supposed to be Ghostface.
Yeah.
That's what she was going to be if she stayed.
Quick.
So.
Is this true? Because I read that Melissa Barrera went to the premiere of Scream 7. Is that true, or is that bullshit?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
No
okay.
No,
I read
night
that
of the
online.
premiere,
they were like, yeah.
She was somewhere else.
Buddy.
Yeah, she was somewhere else and tweeted or posted a picture. She was like working on something. So no.
Didn't she post like
she
a
just,
picture of like food or something?
She posted "I see you" to her the protesters, her supporters. She tweeted or posted that to her Instagram story, and then photos of herself working on a project. So that's all she posted. Yeah, like I said, anyone that has a right to say whatever they want and boycott. My main issue was them trying to ruin the movie for people, and also being foolhardy enough to think that, doing so, leaking the script and pushing that agenda was going to hurt the movie at all, or influence fans to not see it.
I feel like we all agree that nobody should be fired over free speech. But obviously the way they went about trying to just tank the movie.
Unless you're saying wild shit, right? Yeah. Like, unless you're like saying racist or wild shit,
right?
You know, you should be able to state what you want. You know, I'm someone that if you're an entertainer, like, I hate when shit gets political, right? Because it's like everybody with a platform can easily share and stand on their soapbox and preach political shit. And everybody's entitled to that, right? But me personally, I'm like, you know, I don't give a fuck. Like, dude, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I don't fucking care to hear about his stance on politics and shit like that, bro. Like, you're a movie star. I like watching your movies. Like,
well, he was,
you know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, yeah. Do I think that she should have been fired for what she said? Fuck no, dude. That was really silly. And honestly, for the next movie, they should apologize. They should give her a super payday, and they should bring her back in, and they should finish at least what they started with that and have it kind of be like a crossover almost. Because at this point, there's kind of two realities that Scream are set in, right? Two different storylines with different characters.
I guess the ending of the last one, dude, was the ending of the last one was perfect. She drops the mask, they walk away. They're kind of, their story's already kind of finished anyway. So I agree. We could possibly see what would happen, but not sure I'd want to see that now. Who knows? Within good time. But guys, it's time to, we've shut our wads. It's time to get down to our final thoughts and trash it or treasure it. So Kellen, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are your final thoughts, and are you going to trash this movie or treasure it?
I'm going to treasure this movie because I'm about to go see it for the third time. I really like it. It's very rewatchable. It's great. You know, there's, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are giving it 5-star reviews without even going to see it. And that's
true.
Just sad. But we all know this is a solid entry in the franchise. And yeah, I'm excited for more. I think we're going to get a Scream 8 sooner than we think.
Absolutely. Be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I've made my points. I think I've said everything I need to say about it. And all that to be said, I still think that it's a really enjoyable Scream movie. I think that the past couple Screams have really shown that you're really either going to polarize the rabid fan base or you're going to pander to them. And I think that this one does a really good job of finding some middle ground with that. Not everything in it works for me, but, you know, not everything in every Scream movie ever works for me. I think that the points that need to matter, the kills, Sydney, and the score are all there intact. I stand by. I don't think that we need to dwell on killers needing motive that ties back to the original storyline. I'm all for getting crazy with it. And I think everybody should go see it and support it. And obviously they already are, but you know, you guys all have said that you're seeing it multiple times or planning to see it more. So it's a treasure for me.
Jeremy.
Yeah, man. It's, talking about Scream 8 before I get to my trash or treasure it. I read this morning, and it could be bullshit because, you know, the internet is bullshit, but I heard that it's possible that they might even start filming Scream 8 at the end of this year.
Yeah, I heard the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck yeah for that. But yeah, I'm gonna treasure this, man, because again, if you can surprise me with a 7th installment in a franchise and shock me and enable me to have as much fun as I had with this movie, despite its flaws. Like, I mean, dude, there's some things in this movie that it's like, they should have tweaked this. They should have done this. I mean, there was 3 writers on this movie, which it's like, why did they need 3 writers when Kevin Williamson is like a prolific fucking writer?
He should just write.
I don't know.
I think he just did a final pass on it at the end and did a quick rewrite, actually. That's what I was told, but I could be wrong.
I definitely, I get that. But either way, man, it's an absolute blast. I was thrilled with it. I walked out of the theater very satisfied. Again, I'm going to go see it again. So this is definitely a treasure for me.
Amazing. And I actually never thought that I'd hear that out of your mouth. But you did like the last one quite a bit. We left that theater pretty satisfied. So you guys already heard what I feel about it. I'm going to treasure this. It felt weird seeing it with a bunch of New York critics and being the only one. Like, yeah, I kind of liked a lot of things about it. And then on second watch, it solidified all that for me. It's just such a blast of a movie. And Kellen, you said this perfectly earlier. It felt like the first 3 movies to me. It felt like more Craven-esque to me. And Brady, you mentioned that the town didn't work for you. For me, it felt just like Woodsboro, just smaller scale. Definitely a smaller town and stuff. Less extras, less people on the street and things like that. But sure. Marco's score, thank God he came back. he literally is the thematic musical backbone of this franchise, and I loved his music. Unfortunately, I saw him post that no record label is associated with the score, so getting it released on like vinyl or digital or CD or whatever isn't happening right now, but I'm praying that does happen because all of us want it, so please release that shit. Great kills. Love the Sidney Gale stuff so much. Love the relationship with Tatum. Just a fucking blast. One of the most brutal Ghostface killers, plural, we've ever seen in any of these movies, with great kills. Just such a fun time. Brought me right back to what made me fall in love with this franchise in the first place. So it's a treasure for me. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for checking us out and listening to this Scream episode. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out. If you're a long-time listener, thanks for listening to us for as long as you have been. And of course, our guest here, Kellen. Dude, if they want to check out your show, where can they find you?
Kellen's Petty Talk Show.
And you're on Instagram. Where are you at, man?
Instagram at Kellen Pembleton. That's KellenPembleton. Check me out.
There it is. You got another interview coming up, right? You just recorded yesterday?
Yeah, me and Jeremy just did one with Bart Mixon. So he did the Pennywise makeup, Pet Sematary 2. I mean, million movies.
RoboCop, Ernest Scared Stupid, a billion things.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, listeners, check that out when it comes out. And of course, we're at Epic Film Guys on every single social media platform known to man and everywhere where you find your podcast. So until next time, I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Be Ready.
And I'm Kellen.
And as we always like to say, keep that shit.
Creepy.